morning I want to do a little bit of a walk and talk about a subject that impacts me greatly. It's a it can be a difficult subject for me, but I feel like I need to address it, and I feel like that everyone who's watching my videos deserves to know what it is that impacts me so greatly and that I need to talk about. So, we're going to take a little walk in the neighborhood here, and we'll address what the issue is and we'll talk about it. I sure appreciate you guys, and I appreciate you allowing me to talk about this. Okay, let's talk about the subject that I want to talk about this morning. You may have heard me say before that I'm legally blind. What exactly does that mean? Well, obviously, it doesn't mean that I can't see anything. That would be a different form of legal blind, and it encompasses people who are what we would refer to as blind. They see nothing, just blackness. There's no light or anything of that nature, my understanding. Then you have those who are legally blind, like myself. That it would be a definition given by Social Security where your better eye is less than 2200 vision. Now they use a Snelling eye chart, and so it goes from 2200 to 2100. So if you're in the parameters basically of 2100 to or beyond, they're going to qualify you as being legally blind. That doesn't mean that I can't see anything. On bright sunshiny days, I see pretty well. I can get out and get about, and that's why you see me riding on that Honda Ruckus, is because I'm able to get out and do things of that nature. Now, that again doesn't mean that I can't see anything. I can obviously see if I can ride a scooter up and down the road, but it does take away much of what I'm able to do. Inside, where the light's not as good, it's a lot more difficult for me. I can't see things on the floor. I can't find things in a drawer, and you learn to go by feel for most of that. You learn to feel around to find what you're looking for. And it isn't that I can't do anything, but it just takes me about 4 times as long as it used to take me to do the same thing. So I'm able to do a lot of things by feeling what I'm trying to work on rather than seeing what I'm trying to work on. And so it makes it extremely difficult and a much more arduous process to be able to do things like that. Now, when I lost my vision, I guess it's actually about 3 years ago that I started having my vision issues and not being able to see as clearly. Because it's later in life, obviously I'm 63 years old, so about 60 years of age is when I started losing my vision. I think it makes it more difficult. I'm not saying that people who lost their vision at an earlier age have it easy, because they don't. Anybody that is blind does not have an easy life. There's no doubt about it. But it does make it to where they've had a longer time to adapt. When you're 60, and by the time you're 61, you are now legally blind, it makes it really difficult. It takes away my ability to drive when I want to. It takes away my ability to do things around the house. It took away many of my hobbies that I had. For example, I'm a pilot and I own an airplane, but I no longer can fly. And it makes you really sad when you think about all the things that you can't do any longer. I had maybe a dream, many of us probably do, of getting an RV and retiring to live in an RV and moving with the weather. Well, can't do that because I can't see to drive an RV. So it's just taken that away from me. Many of the hobbies that I used to do are really difficult. I recently went on a fishing trip, and while I was able to see well enough to do the fishing, I had a really hard time tying my line and doing different things or getting things untangled. And I had to rely on somebody else to do that. And trust me, I don't like relying on people. Of course, now here I am relying on people. I can't get to my doctor's appointments that I need to get to. I have to get friends to help me transport down to the doctor. I can't reliably go to work anymore. And when I get at work, it's really difficult to do my job. It's really difficult to create documents on a computer when you in fact can't see the computer. Now, I'm a disabled veteran, and the Veterans Administration has been very good to me. They've given me as much help as they can give me. They came in and made a bigger screen for my computer. They put software on it that makes it easier to use, such as Zoom Text, and they've given me what looks like a virtual reality headset that allows me to change the contrast of text and zoom in and zoom out, so I can use the computer while doing that. But it's still difficult. It's still difficult to see the individual words. It's still difficult to get my fingers in the right place on a keyboard, and it's difficult to create the document and get it printed. And should anything go wrong, such as the printer doesn't want to function properly, or my scanner doesn't want to work the way I think it should, or my copier gets a jam in it, it just compounds the issues. Also, on dark, cloudy days, I can't even get to work. It's way too dangerous for me to try to do anything on a dark, cloudy day. So I'm trying to find hobbies that I can use and hobbies that will keep me occupied. So one of the things I'm doing is I'm video logging for YouTube. That's the purpose of this channel. It's to give me an outlet to help me with my creativity, to give me something to do. And even this is difficult. Being a YouTube creator, I got to hand it to them. The people that do that on a regular basis, they look very professional. They do a very good job with it. And it's hard to do those things. It's even harder when you can't see your camera and you can't see what you're doing. So it's a very difficult thing to deal with. And I've been dealing with it now for 3 years, and I'm learning to adapt on some things and being able to do particular things that helps me with my daily life. But I really needed a hobby that I could reliably do and count on. And so purpose of this video logging is to partially do a hobby. And I developed that because I got that Honda Ruckus scooter. That scooter gives me more freedom than you can imagine. It allows me to get on these backcountry roads and drive around and explore and see some of the things that I used to be able to see. I did the lake video the other day. I so enjoyed getting out to the lake. It was such a beautiful day, and being able to talk to you guys about the lake. The scooter gives me a lot of freedom. But when I started doing that, I thought, well, what kind of things can I do with the scooter? And that's when I started thinking about maybe trying to do some YouTube videos. Not so much for hoping to get rich or getting a lot of subscribers, but for me to have an outlet, for me to be creative, for me to be able to do things that I want to do, and things that will occupy my time in media, because it impacts so much of my life. It's so all-encompassing. That's all I can say about that. And so I feel like I have to get out and talk about it. And I feel like talking about it actually helps me mentally cope with it. Before I got the Honda Ruckus, I found myself in the house lamenting over not only my loss of vision, but the loss of family members and the losses of what used to be, and thinking about that. And it's probably depression, and mine is kind of a situational depression, I guess. But once I got that Honda, I was able to get out on the roads and able to do this video logging and give myself mental clarity. It's helped tremendously. So that's what I'm doing. I'm hoping that you guys found this enjoyable and that it benefits somebody in some form or fashion. Maybe there's some other people out there with vision issues. Feel free to reach out to me and let's talk, let's collaborate, let's figure out together how we can best accommodate this blindness. Y'all have a wonderful day.